Day is never finished. Master got me working. Someday Master set me free.
Alright, this is definitely on the weirder side of shit I'm gonna do, but after literally just sitting on TikTok literally last night and I'm just seeing all this like shit on the Acolyte, I'm like, I can save you, Star Wars, right? And you gotta hear me out on this, right? You gotta hear me out. We'll start with the original trilogy. Like, obviously, this is going off someone who grew up with the prequels, right? Just keep that in mind, right? Like, I think, like, A New Hope, it's watchable. Like, you know, it is what it is, right? Like, it's outdated, in my opinion, but it's still good. Peak. There's, yeah, we don't need to talk about that. That's just peak. Episode 6. Mwah. Chef's kiss, I'm telling you. Chef's kiss. It's not, there's problems with it, but it's still fire.
I mean, it's alright, like...
Episode 1. Yes, dialogue could be better, alright? Dialogue could be better, but Qui-Gon Jinn, Darth Maul. Now, this is pod racing. Like, I don't know what more we need. Episode 2, right? And this is, again, controversial. Low-key. Yes, the dialogue is cringe, okay? I am well aware the dialogue is cringe. You have a lot of problems with this movie. The Anakin being awkward around Padme thing, yeah, okay. But look, we know he pretty much never spoke to a woman he cared about, right? And he had a 10-year crush on her, like, prior to this. Obi-Wan's just off in his own little world, like, figuring out about the cloning process, which, keep in mind, is cool, and they expand upon that, so make it fucking fire later down the line, is a little bit of, like, you know, out of the place. But we also get him with a mullet.
Jesus, Savior of the world.
Mace Windu having one of the badass entrances of just him pulling out his lightsaber up against Jango's throat with Dooku turning around, Master Windu. Like, that is peak. I'm not even going to debate that. That beats Empire. I don't even care. Like, that, watching this in the cinemas was fucking peak.
Did you ever hear the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise?
If I recommend any Star Wars movie, it's Revenge of the Sith. It opens you to so much doors.
What the shit?
English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
I gotta tell you, it was perfect. Perfect. Everything, down to the last minute details.
That's why he's the MVP! That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
This is where shit's gonna start hitting the fan a bit, okay? Just keep that in mind. We know this is to be George Lucas Star Wars. We're happy with this. Episode 7. 7 isn't that bad. Okay? 7 exists. Okay? 7 just exists. I'm happy for it. Like, you know, cool. It does fuck up a lot, and it does pretty much rehash A New Hope in its own way. But it exists. Hey, look at this photo too, right? Look at the photo here. What the fuck is you teasing little bastards, by the way? You teasing bitches. Spoken to so many people in the past, and I was like, if you had have made Finn like Mace Windu's son or some shit, you could have taken this series so fucking, like, the sequel so fucking far.
He's out of line, but he's right.
Just give me 1 second. I'll be back. There we go. There we go. I don't even need to. I don't even need to. Look, people like The Last Jedi. It is what it is. No, just, I'm good. Like, and remember, I'm a prequel baby. And I'm saying no. Because you pretty much ruin... you ruin too much shit. No. Now, Rise of Skywalker... I still feel like you ruin Anakin's legacy a little bit with this, because episode 6, technically Anakin's meant to defeat the Sith, right, in Return of the Jedi. But then Palpatine just comes back, and it's like somehow Palpatine returned. I get they trying to explain it with the Mandalorian and the Bad Batch and whatnot, and all that kind of era that it's sitting in. But no, just, you should have released the Bad Batch as well as Mando first, and then this movie, because then you would have given us a lot more context. Or even have flashback scenes within the movie with Palpatine setting up of how he's returned. So they don't, like, you know, say like Poe and all that, they don't know exactly how he's returned. But us as the viewers would have known how he returned. And it's like, I see what you did there. I'm not hating the sequels because, you know, oh, Rey and women empowerment and all this shit. I hate the sequels because the storytelling is bad. right? If you've written the characters better, and each of them had character development, had actual time, you know, why they're doing this, you know, what caused them to get to the point in their life where they're becoming to fight the, you know, the First Order. If you'd given us reasons for us to believe these heroes and these characters, it would have been calm. But you look at, like, you know, the sequels as a whole, the only two people that they really gave any development to was Kylo and Rey, and I don't even want to talk about Rey. Kylo got decent, which was cool, because, you know, he hated his mother, hated his father, he was trying to rebel, but the light kept pulling him, like, kept pulling him back to the light. Makes it, you know, it's more believable than Rey just, you know, not losing a fight, but having no experience with a lightsaber, all this other stuff, where Kylo had experience with Luke. I'm just putting it out there, but, like, the sequels as a whole don't, like, fully make sense with what came prior. And if you already look of how the movies have just come out, like, just the 9 movies, like, you know, they're telling one whole story. The prequels and the originals, like, like, they're up here chilling, living their best life. Disney, since acquiring it, on the other hand, like, come on, brother, come on. I can save you. Just remember this. I can save you. Rogue One, it's there, right? Like, I don't mind it. Like, I'm a prequel baby, so it is what it is. But it gets better the more you watch it. Like, the first couple of times I was there, like, okay, like, it is what it is, I guess, right? Like, it's there. I'd say it's fire. Like, again, I think the Vader hallway scene at the end of Rogue One has clutched it for me to be fire. Hallway scene, need I say more? Solo, on the other hand, this came out after this abomination. Solo exists. Like, it's there, I guess. Like, granted, it tells you some stuff about, you know, the Kessel Run. It just gives more Han Solo backstory. Clone Wars, the movie. I think it's overly hated. Like, it is PG'd. Don't get me wrong. It is PG'd. So this is like Star Wars in its PG era, like where it started getting really kid-friendly. We get Anakin at the start of the Clone Wars, you know, when he's all arrogant, all bashy. He's like, you know, like, he thinks he doesn't need anything, right? He just thinks, all right, cool, I can do everything, call it a day. Obi-Wan's trying to keep him grounded, and Yoda's like, you know what? Obi-Wan asked for the Padawan, let's give it to Skywalker to keep him grounded. And the thing is, Ahsoka is very snarky in the movie. Don't get me wrong. She's very snarky in the movie, but, like, that's why he starts calling her snips and stuff, because she's snippy towards him. You know, keeps giving him attitude. Like, it makes sense. And, like, think about it, we get early viewings of, like, Captain Rex, Commander Cody. We get all that stuff, like, right off the get go. And this thing came out before Clone Wars came out. But, like, yeah, like, I would say rewatch it with the expectation of what you know what's to come, and it is an absolute fire piece. Clone Wars, peak.
Anakin, what? Control your insolence. The Count is concentrating.
Everyone judges it, like a lot of people I speak to judge off animation. Don't give a fuck about the animation. Watch the animated series. They are so good. People that are like, oh, but it's animated. Who fucking cares, man? It gives you some of the best storytelling over the 7 seasons. Ahsoka getting accused of bombing the temple. What is it? The Siege of Mandalore. The introduction of the Bad Batch.
They call themselves the Bad Batch.
And then, I forgot about the most important arc, the Umbara arc. Oh my god. The Umbara arc is by hands down the best arc in this whole fucking thing. It is literal peak, and it's showing Captain Rex outside of Anakin. And it is, oh my god. I'm saying, watch the Clone Wars for the love of God. 2003 Clone Wars. Like, the 2-minute shorts we got from, like, 2003 on Cartoon Network, it's still fucking fire. Samurai Jack, but in Star Wars. That's the easiest way to describe it. There's still one thing from this thing. Two things actually I keep canon from this show in 2003. One is how Anakin gets his scar, right, on his right eye from Ventress. That alone, peak. But then how General Grievous gets his cough from Mace Windu. Yes. Like, it is on the verge of this. Like, if anything, if I had to rearrange this right now, it would be this all the way up here. You know what? It would be Clone Wars there, and then that, and then that. Oh, no, go back one. And then that, and then that. Like that, yeah, nah, like 2003 Clone Wars is fucking fire. The Bad Batch.
I like to blow things up because I like to blow things up! Got it?
It is something, right? A lot of people hate it, a lot of people love it. Me personally, I think it is part of the most peak thing we get. A lot of people, they think it's watchable or it's even just down here, right? For me personally, it is peak. It just divulges so much more of what we got of the Clone Wars. Like, it divulges more. I'm putting that up there. It divulges so much into, you know, the clones. So it expands more on Rex. It expands more on the Batch. You know, we get introduced to new ones like Hauser. And it explains, you know, Gregor, Wolf. Actually, it doesn't fully explain Wolf, but, like, it's there. Like, it's beautiful. Like, and out of everything, like, we get more of the Bad Batch. Like, that was cool. Like, think about the first 4 episodes that we got of Clone Wars Season 7, right? They introduced us to the Bad Batch, and it's like, you know what? Let's just push them for a couple of seasons. I still wish this got a Season 4. I feel like it was too early to end. It literally just, it cooked, right? Season 1 for me was like, it was good, like the first episode, like an hour-long episode. Yeah, like an hour and a half almost. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Yes. And then a couple episodes after that, you know, we get Cutler Quane, all that. Yes. Yes. And then we start getting the Sid stuff, and it's like, Then we get to the end of Season 1 with Crosshair on Kamina. Oh my god. Oh! One of the other times I've cried. Just like with Fives, I cried here. Season 2 is kind of like the weirdest season out there, but it ends with me literally bawling my eyes out. Season 3, oh, this show cooked. Cooked. Oh, Season 3 cooked. I'm telling you.
From all of us of the Bad Batch, we wanted to thank all of our many fans for their loyalty and appreciation, as well as for their devotion and their love.
We had a blast. Boom! Now let's go finish this.
I don't even know what this is, so that can just sit there. I think it's like Tales of Destiny or some shit. I don't know, but it's sitting there. Rebels. I think Rebels personally is too PG. Like, obviously, this was when they were going through their, you know, their really high Disney. Like, they canceled Clone Wars and started working on Rebels. And then, obviously, they were like, oh, shit, people want to finish the Clone Wars. Let's go back to the Clone Wars. But Rebels is, like, really PG, very, like, if you watched Clone Wars first, you see, like, you know, the kiss of death. You see people getting decapitated. You know, you see some dark shit. You see people get shot, no issues. You see arms get ripped off. Rebels went the opposite direction and hit all that off screen. But it is still a fire show. Like, you've got some good things within this show. Like, Rebels has got some good shit. They brought back Ahsoka, brought back Rex, Gregor, Wolf. We got more explanation on, like, you know, the early, like, intricacies of, you know, the rebellion and stuff and how that was going. Low-key, it is, I would say Rebels is still fire. Like, it is aged, again, like Clone Wars, it is aged like fine wine. Again, I'm telling you, don't underestimate the animated shows. The Mandalorian, oh god. If it was just Season 1 and 2, up here. Season 3 has brought this show down to this level, personally. Like, Season 3, you shouldn't even bother except for the last 2 episodes. If I look at the series as a whole, still with 1 and 2 carrying, it goes in a fire. Like, Mandalorian brought in a new generation. It brought everyone in. The Grogu merch went off the fucking charts. But, like, Mandalorian, it's there, right? It's there. Visions, it exists. Like, I don't really do... I think I've watched, like, 2 episodes of it. Like, it's there. I just don't watch it. Book of Boba... Oh, why Book of Boba? You take such a cool character, like some of the coolest, and then you add Fennec Shand, you add, you know, some Tatooine stuff, and you expect it to be like up in this area, but it's really just, it exists, right? It exists. Especially because Mandalorian Season 2 gave Bulba such a sick way to come back. It's such a sick opening that it warranted having, you know, a Bulba spinoff. But then it's like, brother, and then Mando steals 2 episodes from Book of Boba Fett, and it's like, and then let's just, yep, never gonna watch it. I don't care. It does contradict what I said earlier about the animated shows, but 1, 2, and 3 kind of give the indication of this. Obi-Wan Kenobi. This is gonna piss me off right here.
Oh, I have a bad feeling about this.
There's a little bit of news with this one. The budget for this was like, what, $80 million? Something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it was like $80-ish million. 80, maybe 90. The Acolyte has been given $180 million. Like, Andor was given like, what, 140 or something like that? And yeah. But Obi-Wan, the one show that fans were wanting for what, 10, 15 years. We get some of the coolest type of shit in episode 1, right? With him struggling to deal with what had happened. 10 years later, keep in mind. He's still, like, you know, having the problems of, like, dealing with Anakin. Like, you know, turning into Vader and stuff. And thought he killed his best friend. He can't reach out to Qui-Gon. He's lost his way, you know, like... And, you know, he's, like, pretty much just, you know, a beaten up old man, pretty much, right? We get, you know, him coming up against Vader again once he realized he was alive, and it's like, oh shit, we're gonna go down. Burns him and do all this stuff, and it's like, payback's a bitch, let's go! And then, like, the last episode, okay, cool. The one massive holdback with this whole thing is Reva. Like, that's the massive... Oh, okay, no, there's also the Leia chase scene. That was way too fucking long. Reva is the main problem of this series, and I'm not, like, again, hating on women being, you know, the main lead and all this other shit that's, you know, Disney's probably trying to push out. What ends up happening, right, is that there was leaked things of, like, Cody was meant to be in this series, right, and, like, was meant to help Obi-Wan watch over Luke, and then there was meant to get, like, a whole backstory of, like, you know, Cody saying sorry and, you know, trying to beg for Obi-Wan's forgiveness and stuff like that, and it's like, brother, we could have had that. We could have had that. Given us a bigger budget, and we could have had that. Why is Acolyte given like almost 200 mil, but a legacy character like Obi-Wan was given not even half the budget? Like, Obi-Wan could have been like up here, right? Up here. Like, don't get me wrong, I still like the Obi-Wan series, like, for Obi-Wan and Anakin, right? So, like, if I'm gonna be a little skewered in that, I still think, like, it's fire, right? It's still a good series. Granted, we could have had more, and I could have written this show better, 100%. But the fact being, like, it's still a good series. Like, it's not great by any means. And it's on the end of fire, almost in the watchable category. But, like, it's there, right? Like, it's like, it's good. It's a good series. If you want to, like, you know, just pretty much recap some Revenge of the Sith. I'm still gutted that there is no season 2. And Ewan is literally waiting on the call. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Andor is sick. Andor, I thought was going to be shit, right? And I negated this show for like 6 months. You know, it's slow, it's shit. It is, actually, it was like 4 episodes, but I was like, it's slow. But like, once it hits the prison stuff, oh my god, yeah. It went from like this to like up here, brother. I'd say move Rebels up more. I'd say Rebels is up here. Andor is like in between these. Like, Andor is good. Tales of the Jedi. Peak. It is peak. I'm not even going to, you know, dispute it. It is peak. And like how Anakin essentially like indirectly trained her for Order 66. And it's like, oh, brother. Ahsoka. Weirdly enough, it is a good show. Like, it is good. But the main things that carry this show as of right now until season 2 drops is seeing Anakin again and the Clone Wars flashbacks. That's what carries this whole show. Like, granted, if you're Rebels, like, if you think Rebels is, like, peak and all this stuff, Ahsoka's for you. Like, I'm telling you, Ahsoka is Rebels Season 5. It's there, but the Clone Wars stuff really drives it. Like, it's still fire. Like, it's... actually, no, I'd say it's watchable. It's watchable. Actually, no, come to think of it, I think there and there. I think, yeah, that's more like it. It's definitely watchable. Now... This is... It's weirdly enough, that's... Yeah. I'd rather The Last Jedi. I've seen the episodes that are out so far, and I'm just like, why are we turning into Frozen here? We have like almost a $200 million budget, and we're making Frozen Star Wars edition. You can, like, I know Disney, at least as of late, you know, they're pushing a lot of, like, you know, LGBTQ stuff, and they're doing, like, yeah, cool, you do that, but, like, Young Jedi Adventures and stuff, which is not in here either, put it in the non-canon section like that is, you know, where it's like, it's its own thing, you can do your representations, but don't make it canon. This shouldn't be canon. Like, I want to push The Last Jedi up there. That's how bad it is. And then, obviously, you know, Young Jedi Adventures. It's a kid's show, man. Like, I'm not going to judge this one. It's a kid's show. It's out there. It's doing its thing. This is where I'm going to try I'm gonna try and fix Star Wars. I feel like we can push Star Wars back in the right direction, right? And we can push it at least towards the right direction. But hear me out. A Vader series. Alright, I'm telling you, a Vader series. Get Hayden Christensen back in, because he still wants to keep doing Anakin. You know, it's something he loves to do. And now with the fan base loving him more than ever, now is the time to capitalize on a Vader series. And yeah, a lot of people are going to argue, well, the whole fucking Skywalker saga's about him, rah, rah, rah. The 6 movies are about him, alright? Let's not say all 9, because they're not. Secondly, there's still a lot of Vader that we can cover. Like, we can cover him chasing down Jedi while still being haunted by Kenobi. We can still get him visiting Padme's grave. Fucking Mace Windu series. We had a couple, like, we even know, like, that Samuel L. Jackson wants to play Mace Windu. He understands the character of Mace Windu. He understands, like, what he needs to go through to come back and then fight Vader again, like, or properly fight Vader this time, you know, not get blindsided. But we need to see Mace Windu, like, you know, how he survives, what he went through for, like, say 5, 6, 7 years. So we needed this. I think we need this show to take place before Kenobi, right? This show needs to take place before Kenobi. Mace would still know that Yoda would be alive, hiding somewhere, and I feel like he would know the same about Obi-Wan. The Clone Rebellion needs to take place already. I'm surprised we haven't got this already. Like, granted, Disney have kind of twisted and turned it, obviously with Kamino already being destroyed, do whatever, it is what it is. But we can still have a clone uprising, which I'm hoping they're still pushing for. They did allude to a lot of it in the Bad Batch. Push this out to get back on the right track. Like, I'm saying, like, we need the clone uprising. We need, you know, Cody to come back into the picture, Rex, Gregor, Wolf, all those type of clones, all the clones that Rex saved, then go fight the Empire and get fucked up, literally fucked up, to the point why we need to see Rex went into hiding with Gregor and Wolf. Why this hasn't happened yet, I'll never know. The fact we haven't gotten this either is kind of weird. You have the assets of, you know, the deep faking. I'd say, why would you not already do this? You know, you can have this take place, you know, to connect 6 and 7. Like, you can have it so, you know, we're seeing, you know, Luke, train Ben in the early years, and we had all this other stuff going on. And, like, Luke, you know, traveling to all these different systems with some of his students, you know, and finding all these, like, Jedi holocrons, Sith holocrons. As it stands, Star Wars, we've seen, is in dire need of help. Disney can produce bangers. It's just, Kathleen Kennedy, please. We don't hate Star Wars, you know, or we hate female lead characters, you know, or women empowerment and all this other shit. We don't hate that. We just hate the stories. There's no character development. There's no meaning to it. Then what's the point? You have all these good, like, women characters, and you say, oh, but, you know, this whole fandom is racist and bigotry and sexist and all this other stuff. But it's like, we literally have Padme, Ahsoka, we have Mon Mothma, Sabine, Hera. Like, well, we've got good female characters. Leia, like, we've got good characters, like women characters especially, that have been written well. We just need good stories to back them up. Yeah, and different video than what I would normally do, but I feel like it just had to have been done, you know? It's like it just had to have been. Now that's off my chest, we can go back to the normal funny stuff of, like, funny sword game and everything else.
What the fuck is this piece of shit?
This is your friendly neighborhood pool guy singing, I'm never gonna dance again the way I dance with you. Oh.